Performance after performance after performance. That's Mikel Arteta's Arsenal at the moment, but in particular, that's Gabriel Magalhaes at the moment. One of the league's most consistent high performers, Europe's top scorer as of recent years as a defender, and arguably, in this moment, the league and the planet's best defender in current form. Now, Gabriel has quietly been performing at this level for quite a few years now, and although Saliba spends more time within the limelight, I think Gabriel is forcing his way through into the conversations of being the world's best centre-back in this moment. His performances have been monstrously important for the Gunners as of recently, with late winners and the inevitable, imperiously towering set-piece threats. But what makes the 27-year-old the best? Very few centre-backs in world football have put up the consistently high level, reliable performances that Gabriel does to the magnitude he does. Every big game occasion, every tricky away ground, Gabriel rises as the best on the pitch nearly every single time. Whether that's storming through with a goal from a set piece or locking up the opponent's big game attackers. Since Gabriel's joined the Gunners, the Brazilian has netted against Liverpool, Manchester City, Atletico Madrid, Tottenham, Newcastle, Chelsea, Manchester United, Palace, Sporting and plenty more teams. Of course, a defender's job isn't to necessarily score goals, but funny enough, these goals were followed up and backed up by colossal performances. Colossal is probably the best word to describe Gabriel's defending. I don't think there's a defender on the planet that is better than Gabriel at blocking shots. It's one of his best habits and attributes. His positioning beforehand and body orientation sets him up brilliantly pretty much every time, so that he doesn't need to run at ridiculous speeds every time an opponent is in behind. But Arteta puts so much emphasis towards the urgency of closing down space, the importance of eliminating the space that an opponent can create danger from. He wants no gaps that the opposition can exploit, and you can see this within Gabriel's movement when recovering. There's a striking sense of urgency. But before this, Gabriel is really a master of anticipation in his footwork and how he can miss himself. He understands when and when not to jump forwards towards the ball. Gabriel contains the explosiveness off the mark to participate effectively in Arsenal's counter-press, successfully contributing towards pinning a team in their own half and Arsenal dominating momentum. But the 27-year-old isn't stupid. He doesn't mind backpedaling because 1v1 he's comfortable when an attacker is running towards him. You can try and outdo Gabriel for pace and sheer speed, but that also doesn't work. Gabriel is capable of matching the speediest of attackers, either running them out of play or getting to the ball. With Gabriel matching the attacker and their speed, it poses a huge test for the attacker. Can you technically keep up with yourself and your carrying with the ball, whilst also looking to score, keep composure and pull off a shot? A lot of the time, Gabriel answers that for you. You can look to outmuscle, battle shoulder to shoulder with Gabriel, but again, this is when the centre-back showcases his monumental upper body strength, where he can aggressively flatten an attacker with ease, as seen quite typically with his scrappy battles with Erling Haaland. Gabriel shares the no-nonsense attitude that every world-class defender needs, but where a lot of aggressive, dual, engaging defenders go wrong is being far too aggressive, conceding needless fouls, inconsistent timing, and that can be incredibly frustrating for the sake of momentum and for the sake of their discipline, their red card and their yellow card tally. But Gabriel is perfect. So perfect that the data paints the picture for me. Gabriel's numbers, as you may expect, are outrageously good, with some devastatingly dominant numbers in Arsenal's squad. His recoveries, block shots, aerial duels, interceptions, so much assurity here, especially with his availability at the top. But what I wanted to point out here was these two stats. Just 3 fouls committed so far this season and a whopping 0 yellow cards. So now you have a world-class aggressive defender that has mastered the art of timing, his jump and speed down to the ground. This is such an underappreciated aspect to his game, because for many top centre-backs such as Cristiano Romero, for example, their over-aggression and that slight lack of discipline is their kryptonite. It is the criticism to their game overall, even when they're performing at their best. But Gabriel has absolutely nailed this. He's perfect within this department. Those clearances too are worth highlighting, because although it's not a significant stat when analysing defenders, it just shows that maybe he's defending a lot. It's a pretty pointless stat overall. But he's ahead of anyone else for clearances in Arsenal's squad by 20. Yes, because Saliba has missed a couple of games, but also because he's ridiculously good at getting to the ball before anyone else. His box defending wins Arsenal games single-handedly. Clutch blocks, clearing crosses, closing down a runner, he has it all comfortably on lock. When he needs to recover space quickly, he eats up the ground like it's nothing, making his body big in front of the attacker and blocking those crosses, shots, passes in clutch fashion. So many top defenders get used to dominating the ball for large periods of time. Arsenal dominate the ball for large periods of time. But when Gabriel is called to defending with Saliba, he isn't thrown off at all. It doesn't hinder his sharpness and it doesn't hinder his quality whatsoever. He is so ready and he is so alert. And in situations where many centre-backs would fumble, feel the heat, be exploited, he doesn't. He's cool and handles the scenario very calmly. Against Newcastle at the mighty St James's Park, there were two cases of a very similar scenario. Many centre-backs cave in and panic when the ball is bouncing and an attacker is breathing right down their neck. Gabriel finds himself in this tricky scenario with an awkward, long, high, bouncing ball, but he doesn't panic. He handles this coolly even when a 6'6" German striker is breathing right down his neck. Then this happens against probably one of the quickest sprinters in Europe's top 5 leagues. He uses his strength and experience to stabilise the Gunners in this situation. When a teammate of his leadership abilities consistently handles tricky scenarios in that manner, it only brings so much confidence to you as a player. And also striking that small doubt and disbelief to an opponent to whether or not they can actually beat this guy, get the better of this guy and get an opportunity for themselves. He's simply so well balanced and so well equipped as a defender and performs nearly every area of defending to a world class level. On the ball, Magalhães sees himself on the left side of Arsenal's centre-back pairing with William Saliba and brings complete and utter composure in his ball playing. When watching in detail, I noticed Gabriel has a preference for minimal touches. It's fast, but it's not rushed. Composure and security first, then distributing their ball second. His ball playing is simple, assured, calm, side to side, but he's capable of striking more cool, floated, slow, long balls upwards to an attacker, but mostly aims to be simple with a pinch of directness towards Victor Gyökeres. To me, there's not a huge weakness to the Brazilian on the ball. He brings that cool demeanour that every top team needs in their back line on and off the ball. You'll hardly see the centre-back in poor form like the top defenders experience time to time, which is a toast to just how imperious he has been over the last few years and how consistent he has been. People are somewhat reluctant or ignorant towards praising Arsenal players due to their recent trophy failures, but that's only a matter of time. Gabriel gets into every defence in world football. There's no coincidence that Saliba looks a little bit shakier without Gabriel next to him, and that Cristiano Mascara, who just came in from La Liga, fit right into the Premier League, into the back line, and of course that's because of his qualities and how good he is. Check out the videos I've done of him before, but it's also because he's next to Gabriel. Gabriel is flawlessly good and it's time people start recognising that. Thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, feel free to smash a like and subscribe to the channel. Who do you think the best defender in the world is at this current moment? Do you think it's Gabriel Magalhaes, or would you go towards somebody else? Thank you for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.